get hands. There we go. It's all kind of working. Oh wait, you can see my little notepad. That's fine. There's nothing on there that I need to worry about. Doing cross stitch on. Wait, doing my brain cross stitch on stream again tonight. Come hang. Right. I don't like to point at my Twitch. I like to point at my YouTube, to be honest, mostly because I think YouTube has a better viewer for this. But hey, it's there. It works. Where's OBS? There's OBS. Okay, fantastic. Chat, I got you up? Yeah, I got you up. I had hold on, I think I did have a thing. There was a music thing I could put on that I was thinking about putting on next time I did this, which I have totally forgotten about. Yep, I totally forgot about... I totally forgot what the website was called now that I've totally blanked on it. Do you know what? I'm not actually going to stress about it. I'm not going to stress about it. It was a thing. I can't recall. Unless I can find it very quickly, I'm going to move on. Was it? There we go. I think I'll play this in the background. Let's see. Is this? Oh, hold on. Let's just check the copyright on that. You know, it's great. We don't need music. It's fine. Anyway, how's everyone been? I know I'm super disorganized today. Hey, what's different? Anyway, let's get into cross stitch because the real objective for the day is nailing cross stitch because I have a deadline. I have promised myself that I'm going to finish this piece by the end of the month, and the end of the month approaches. But you know what also approaches? The end of this piece. Like, I can taste it. Well, maybe not taste it, but I can see it. I can definitely see it. Oh, yeah, that's a little bit there. That's a little bit there. Put that there. There we go. Otherwise, how's people's days been? Oh, and that is finished thread. We ran out of 955. If you're at all curious. Well, does this want a better camera to do that too? No, it does. Oh, doesn't. No. Anyway. Whatevs. And would you believe the other day I managed to clip my finger with scissors? You know, now that I say this, I do want to actually pull up music. And I know I had music tab open, and now I can't remember. Let's search back here. 21st of Jan. There we go. I found it. View playlists. There we go. Let's get that open. That's just what I want. Okay, let's dial it down in volume. Okay, oh, it's a little bit loud. There we go. That's about right. Okay, we'll dial that back a bit. Got a nice little bed. I'm happy with that. There we go. Where did I put my needle? There's my needle. So yeah, anyway, been trying to get this done. As I say, I've been a little bit lazy in some areas. But I've also been trying to get a bunch of work stuff done because I've been falling behind on work. Get hydrated. Hey, I have a solution for that. Thank you for reminding me. Passion fruit martini. And yes, I know it's a work night, but I realized I had some of those in the fridge, and I was like, haha. So I grabbed those. How are you doing, Ben? How goes the zombie game, and how goes the randomizer, and all the cool indie kid life and all that? Okay. Oh wait, I need this drink closer here. Hydration is important. Yeah. Pop that through there. There we go. And just grab that there and grab this loose thread here. So I made a mistake earlier with this piece where I was like going a little bit cray with the okay, come on, there we go, with the length of my floss, and got a little bit out of hand to manage, but hey, we're back to a reasonable amount of floss. We'll make it a fresh length. But yeah, I'm also slightly worried I'm going to run out of this blue. Gets our notebook. Randomizer doesn't seem to work on Windows 11, so fun to investigate. That does sound fun to investigate. Zombies are hopefully getting vehicles moving around. I saw the cars. The cars looked very cool. Vehicle manslaughter, man, or vehicle zombie slaughter, as it may be. Side project's going well. Nice. Cracking on with life then. I like that. I like that a lot. That sounds good. Sounds very good. Oh, that's annoying. I'm pretty sure I had my chat set to avoid that, but what the hell? That'll happen. Oh. I just realized. Shrink that down. How things down south? Things down south are good. Things down south are very good. It's actually kind of funny. Life's going super well at the moment. I mean, everything in my life that I can control is going really well. Let me put it that way. I've been developing a lot of stress anxiety over world events and politics and all that kind of junk. But it's, you got to remind yourself you can't control that. So, move on. But no, everything in my life is actually fantastic. Job's great. I'm hating winter, but again, can't control winter. So looking forward to doing stuff in the summer. Looking forward to the sun being back. I miss the sun so much. So yeah, these are the places my head's at. Oh dear, I just made a little bit of a boo-boo, not a huge one. Let's go back there, and there we go. Need to switch over to ice skating for the cold seasons? Maybe, but the thing is what I really dislike, and I cannot express how strongly I dislike this. I dislike being cold. I'm not a fan of being cold. So ice skating doesn't actually appeal to me. I have ice skated before, and I think I'd probably be pretty good at it now with all the rollerblading. I mean, it doesn't all carry over, but a fair amount of it carries over. But the other thing is that I think I'd enjoy lake ice skating. I don't think I'd enjoy going to a ring, because all my memories of a ring are just people going around in circles. And it's just like, that holds very little appeal. Snowboarding on fake slopes. Yeah, I just want the summer to come. We did a little bit of a getaway. We ran off to Canary Islands for a week for Ducky's birthday, and I got to tell you, that was really invigorating. That really started up my my happiness meter again in a way that's hard to express. So yeah, I am just a complicated plant. You know, we like to think that we're very complex creatures, but I am just a plant. So, hey, is what it is. I'm totally fine with that. I like being a plant. Being a plant makes life easy because it just means I have to deal with the basics. Because so often it's like, especially when you're growing up and stuff, you're like, I want to be a special snowflake, I'm special, and you're like, nah, you know, it's nice just sort of chilling. It's really nice chilling. Yeah. It's funny saying that because, you know, statistically I'm an outlier on so many bell curves. But then you realize that, like, being an outlier on a statistical bell curve is not always a good thing. In fact, it almost never is. It does mean you have an interesting life, which is nice. But yeah, that's all good. No, life's good. The only thing that I need to get under control is my daily focus, because my ADHD has been getting a lot worse under lockdown. Normally I don't medicate for it or do much for it because it's not that severe, and I've got quite a good bunch of life skills for coping with it, and generally it suits my lifestyle. It's one of the reasons I'm in game development. But yeah, lately it's been kicking my butt. It's been really hard to stay focused at work. Yeah. Also, like, man, I miss having my birthday in the summer, man. Southern Hemisphere is the best hemisphere. But generally, I like the UK climate. It's just this like 2-3 months that I struggle. Always, every year. To the point it's becoming a running joke that I should just run away in the winter. And not all of winter. I just need some little breaks. That's fine. It's fine. Next time I'll plan for it more. I should plan for it. It feels like I'm planning for failure, but I'm gonna plan for it next time. Thing is, for the longest time, the thing that really got me through the winter was at the end of January was the biggest role-playing convention. So there was a convention called Conception. It used to happen on the South Coast. About 5-6 days of role-playing, tabletopping, socializing, just the nicest thing. Oh no, fuck Canada. No. Yeah. But that tabletop, it was really for over a decade what got me through the winter. Because, oh man, do I like a good role-playing convention. Really, really good. It's actually where me and my wife first got together, and, you know, it's good fun. Good fun. I'm a big fan of that convention. Unfortunately, the convention ended the year before we got married, unfortunately. It was very unfortunate. But hey, this stuff happens. I need to find some conventions again. Get going back into that whole thing. Got to get that VR headset on. Yeah, that actually is what got me through last winter. Though at the same time I developed a little bit of alcoholism, which scared me. But VR chat definitely got me through last winter. I don't have a doubt in my mind about that. It's 100% the case. Last winter was tough also, leaving the games industry, leaving Sony, which I didn't think I'd ever do. Yeah, last winter was tough. But this winter was great actually. I have nothing to complain about. In fact, the only problem was I got too stressed about things I couldn't control. So things like Omicron and things like what it was doing to some friends and family and all that junk. But that was stuff I couldn't control. So, you've got to let that flow off your back. So yeah, it's weird. It's super weird. I'm also just sort of dealing with my life being okay. This is gonna sound the most weird thing to say, but I've been having difficulty dealing with my life being awesome. I know. It's like the biggest sad whinge ever. But basically, for the first time ever, and I'm still figuring it out, but for the first time ever, I don't want anything. I know. Sounds bonkers. I mean, there's some abstract things I can think of, but realistically, got a good job. Very happy in my relationship. We have a mortgage. Cats are healthy. I'm healthy. My partner's healthy. Everyone's good. If you said here's $1 million, I'd be like, yay, that's $1 million. But I don't feel like I need money at the moment. Missing a few of my friends who moved out of London and stuff. It'd be nice for them to move back in, but that's not something I can control. It's not like a goal I can set where it's like if I work 5 hours a day on this, my friends will move back into London. What I am focusing on is making some new London-based friends. Not that I'm going to lose those friends. I love those friends to bits, but you need some local friends. So you can say, hey, we want to go do this thing, and you just grab someone who's in the area. It's important. So, planning to do stuff there. I'm doing my improv again. That's on Wednesday nights. I'll be at improv tomorrow, which I am loving. Keeping myself busy, but it's tough because I normally do New Year's resolutions, and I couldn't come up with New Year's resolutions this year. Last year I didn't do them because 2020, but pretty much consistently for the last 20 years I have 2 or 3 New Year's resolutions, and I normally manage to do 2 or 3 New Year's resolutions. If I have 3 I might miss one kind of thing, but pretty good. My hit rate's pretty good on New Year's resolutions and long-term goals and all that jazz. Not going to say I don't have setbacks and everything, but I do pretty well. And yeah, it was just really strange to look at life and go, okay, all this stuff's happening, it's all good. Why am I so upset? And I was just upset because I didn't have a thing I was working towards. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have work-based goals and stuff I'm trying to get done. But I just realized I didn't have a problem that needed solving. And for some reason, that bumped me out. Still working through it, still getting on it. So, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, instead of having a New Year's resolution this year, or New Year's resolutions this year, I've decided to do monthly projects, or monthly deliverables, I should say, because some of the projects are running over multiple months. I'm not talking about them much. I will say that January's deliverable is finishing this bloody cross stitch, which will happen. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit stressed about the deadline because it's coming hot and fast. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll get shipped. Bubbles. How you doing? Yeah, but we're gonna finish this one. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the months yet, but I do know what I'm gonna do for February. I think you'll like it, Bubbles. What I have planned for February. I think you'll like it. But yeah, it was funny. It was really, really funny. But hey, so that's where I am. That's what's happening in my world. Though, funny story, I did have a bit of a DIY moment. Well, today and yesterday. But it started yesterday where my door handle. Oh dear. Sorry. Go one more deep. It started yesterday where my door handle got stuck. And I genuinely was stressed that I would be locked. There's no lock on my door handle to my study. But the handle itself was sticking. Thankfully it didn't stick too much and I was able to get the door open. But then I got really legitimately stressed I could get locked in my study. So I removed the door handle and the door mechanism, which is not a thing I've ever done before. But got screwdrivers out, went at it. And I ordered a new door mechanism because what I found was when they installed this one, they did a bit of a shitty job of it. And bits of wood had gotten into the mechanism and fouled it up. So I installed a new door handle turny thingy majiggy today. That was my DIY. Have you seen some of the GIFs of the side? Yes. Again, you're going with a very sharp art style. It's looking good. It's looking very good. The sort of... it's not one bit, because you've got a bit of colour in there, or a bit of grayscale, haven't you? It looks cool, though. It looks very cool. I think the last one I saw was like fingers going like around the corner. Keen to see how that goes. I have to admit, I'm not a big horror fan. So I probably will not play it if it is a horror thing. I like the zombie thing because it's a simulation game. The simulation games are a bit fun. But I'm not generally a horror person. No. Yeah. And moving through. But yeah, the real focus at the moment is to get this cross stitch done, and we've basically got a week. And in this week I've also got to spend a chunk of this weekend filing company taxes, which is always dull and scary. Oof, okay, hold on, I think this pajama top might be a little bit warm. Oh, one fun thing, I did get my hair done, which is something I always like to do. Oof, it's a bit too hot. Yeah, went to go see my hairdresser. It's always fun. Makes me feel a bit more like summer's on its way. Trying to figure out if I can get Adobe to send me to GDC. I'd like to go, because that's the other way I like to normally end the summer. So I've gone to the GDC excluding the Rona days. I went to the last 5 GDCs before that. It's a nice habit. Yeah, it is different, you're right. It has a different concept of horror and fun and whatnot. Ducky was just watching American Horror Story and on the telly, and I have to admit, it does definitely have a aesthetic and yeah, I can appreciate it, but to be honest, it's just not my bag. It's just not my bag. Like, if it's a really, like, I like comedy masquerading as horror. Like when we watch really bad slasher films and, like, you know, the Troll 2s of the world. You know, midget assassins and all that. And bad Italian rip-offs of Jaws and all that jazz. Though I did I mean, I had told Ducky about the film ages ago, and she got the book. She hasn't read the book yet. But we finally sat down to, because I just hadn't realized she hadn't seen it, so I sat her down and we watched it. Andromeda Strain, Michael Crichton's original sort of breakout movie in the first book that he wrote under his own name. It holds up. It really holds up. All the effects in the movie are physical. There's no CGI, so you know. And the movie's premise is very simple. A satellite goes into space and brings back a space bug, and the space bug threatens to destroy humanity, but in a very sort of Crichton-esque, you know, that science thriller kind of way. It's very PvE, not PvP. You know, the interesting thing is the challenge of humanity surviving and the science. It's not necessarily inter-character drama. You know, the characters have their own motivations and their own ways about going things, but very much about PvE, which I like. So yeah, Andromeda Strain, if you've not seen it, I highly recommend tracking it down and giving it a watch, because it's really funny. You'll notice there's a lot of tropes in that film that later became sort of standard for the genre. But yeah, at the time, completely groundbreaking cinema. Also, forget the director's name, but he went on to make Star Wars motion picture. And he had this career where his career started out really well, it peaked, and then he made a bunch of shit movies and it faded into obscurity. Which is kind of like the saddest career arc, you know? I was like, what you want your career to be is you want to like slowly make stuff and get better and do better with the stuff you make, and then you either want to die or stop making stuff, you know, to like have your quality of stuff decline. It's just like, I suppose, but if you never truly peak, then there'll always be the fans who think that you could have reached heights on, you know, that no one could reach. So much progress on the Stitch. Yeah, the Stitch is going to get finished this month, come hell or high water. If I have to do a marathon stream, I will finish the Stitch. I will spend all weekend doing the Stitch if I have to. I think the bigger problem is we may run out of blue. I did not think as how much blue I actually needed. I mean, I knew I would need a lot of blue, don't get me wrong. I'm not an idiot, but I have gone through a lot of blue. I had to freehand a lot of the water design because the original design for this pattern is circular, and I changed it to be rectangle just because I like that more, and I want to get like a picture frame, and I want to frame this piece, and I prefer a rectangle frame to the more traditional circular style. And yeah, I am mildly concerned that I'm going to run out of blue. So let's see how we go. We may have to improvise as we get close to the end. Hey jellyfish, how are you doing? How are you doing, son? But yeah, making progress. I also want to make time for the new VR MMO that's coming out this week that I really want to make time to play, called Zenith. It's coming out on the 27th, so Thursday. It's had betas and alphas and stuff running, so it's not like we don't know what it is. It's got good reviews, it's done well. I want to spend some real time in it. But not until this is done. This has to be done first. But yeah, look at how little of the blue we've got left there. It's not much. I mean, we've got the other two blues to stitch on, but we may have to get creative with the pattern. I mean, I've already got creative with the pattern, let's be honest, but I may have to get a little bit more creative with the pattern. Come on. Should I? I'm good. Been good. You been up to any fun YouTube or Dreams projects lately? I've got an idea for a thing that I might want to do in Dreams that may involve a bunch of collabs with a bunch of people. But I want to give it some thought this week and see if I want to do it. If I do it, I'm going to launch it next month. Find out if I can get some people who are interested in doing it. But yeah. But what have you been up to? Stuff other than Dreams? Dare I ask a silly question? Ask a silly question, get a silly answer. Do you know what? Yeah. Oh, what color is that? Sorry, my brain is just rewriting this pattern as I go. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Been off working on the last gold value on and off, going slow though, so I can preserve my creative energy. That's sensible. Who taught you to be sensible? No, sensible's good. Sensible's good. Preserve your creative energy. How are you going to compete with Roblox if you don't do your annual burnout? Sorry. Oh, I'm being bitchy tonight. I don't know why. I'm being very bitchy. Busy with life things. Oh, it's good to be busy with life things. It's always good. It's always good. Yeah, no. I don't know, Ben. When was the last time you felt burnout? It's been a while since I had a real conversation about burnout. Now that I'm at Adobe, it's like I don't feel like that's going to be a threat anytime soon. Not to say the work's not challenging or interesting at Adobe, it's just the culture is very different. And I'm on an awesome team. I'm on a very good team, which is good fun. But though I have to say, my psychology has been permanently warped because it's like, I know, I'll do cross-stitch and relax. No, I need an artificial deadline. This cross-stitch must be done by this date. You know, sometimes you're just so broken you can't go back. Make a game where I control loops that get tighter and tighter, but with horror I get decent. Okay. Well, you know, another way to look at it is you could keep dialing up the fear to keep you scared. And then eventually when you release it'll be the scariest game ever, right? Kind of like the reverse problem of the game testers loop where you make all your platforming levels too difficult because you've played them over and over. But, I mean, is it ever a problem that a horror game is too scary? Gotta keep scaring yourself, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Horror's not my genre. Totally not my genre. You wanna know what my genre is? Fucking Encanto. It's like at Christmas we had a whole bunch of friends around and I shit, you know, so we put on Encanto and I don't think any of us had seen it. No, I don't think any of us had seen it, that's right. But of course, we'd all seen the songs on TikTok and stuff, and we'd all been thing. So it freaking hits the first, not so much Family Madrigal, but it hit like the drip 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 song, and the whole sofa filled with fucking queers is just like on Christmas Day is just drunk singing along to the soundtrack of that movie from then on. And we were like hardcore jamming. We were very much in the mood for that movie, and it was just hilarious. Like, Ducky was mildly in it, but like me, Cat, and B were just like slamming it. Oh, it was good fun. Good fun. Helped that we were very drunk, and I'm sure that we were a lot less in key than we thought we were. But it was epic. It was really epic. But yeah, Encanto, that's my kind of thing. My kind of thing. Yeah, no. It is nice though, because my wife has very different viewing habits to me. So like, we had Airplane Investigations on. She loves that. Loves it to bits. And I'm like, doesn't this make you scared to fly? And she's like, nah, this is safer to fly. And I'm like, okay. Meanwhile, on to episode 512 of the plane crashing. It's like, okay. I don't know. But I kind of get it. I mean, I love the technical nature of the shows. It's like, we found a YouTube channel. I forget the name because I subscribe to it, but I don't know its name. But it's some chemical safety agency board in America. And they do these accident investigations and these postmortems. But the thing is, the way they do them, because it's always like, it's almost always like process or procedure. Like, someone didn't switch this valve, and then they broke safety protocol by putting this chemical in a container that contained this chemical, or next to this, or a heat source, or an electrical outset, or they didn't fully close safety valve B before doing the spot weld or whatever. And so they do these very like, I don't want to say bad, because they're very good animations that convey all the information, but they're like really lo-fi animation reconstructions. So there's no blood or gore or anything, because they're like, they're informational, but there are like these like stock explosions and stuff. It's fucking hilarious. I love watching that channel. I don't know, it's thrilling. It's like, how are they gonna blow shit up this time? Hey, how you doing? Yeah. So I forget the name. It's like the CSB something or whatever. Oh yeah, Chemical Safety Bureau. That's it. Chemical Safety Bureau of North America. And their videos are like, yeah, it's great because they've got no ads. They've got none of this like, they're not like trying to hype it up like those stupid like History Channel shows or whatever. It's like, you wouldn't believe what happened next. It's just like, and then Operator B did this dumbass thing and blew up the entire fucking town. It's brilliant. I love it. I love it to bits. It's like, how is this the content that I am consuming an absolute butt ton of? I have no idea, but I am here for it. So yeah. Seeing as Punk Duck is here, I was trying to get, before work today, I was trying to get the, have any of you played Vampire Survivors? It's the new sort of cheap Steam game that everyone plays, because it's like £3 on Steam and it's an absolute banger, and it totally fits into a lunch break. Playing it this morning before work, and I'm trying to get the garlic achievement, and I just can't. I got 2 runs where I got garlic up to level 8, but I just never got the bloody health regen thing I needed to get with it to trigger the ascension. It's like, it's annoying. Yeah, I mean, those accidents do all really happen, and like some of the explosions are huge. But I don't know, I kind of like watching them because it kind of shows just how this stuff happens. It's always procedure and process, right? everyone's always like, oh, why all these safety procedures? And it's like, well, I'll tell you why there's all these safety procedures. Because some dumb fuck blew himself up last time. That game is crack cocaine, but I feel like, how do I say this? It's ethical crack cocaine? There's no DLC, no microtransactions. It's like all the design logic that like a free-to-play microtransaction game would do to completely rot your brain, but they're giving it to you for free in like a wholesome container, and you can finish, because once you've finished all the achievements and stuff, you're like, okay, the game is now done. You know? I like that. I like that a lot. I am a fan. I am a fan of that. Yeah, unfortunately, because I've been doing so much other stuff, I haven't been doing a lot of like actual sit-down gaming. So a lot of the gaming I've been doing has been things that fit into small chunks, like Unpacking and Vampire Survivors and Super Auto Pets. Oh man, I'm loving Super Auto Pets. That game is so good. That game is fan-bloody-tastic. Okay, let's get one more stitch out of this. We're gonna just do the old backwards needle. There we go. Yeah. So speaking of which, the game that you got for me, the space one. So yeah, I sat down to play that, and I just couldn't get on with it. I get like the GUI is upgradable and the AI system on your ship's upgradable, and I did upgrade it and went through all that, but it was just, the game frustrated me in so many ways. It's really interesting though, because it was really self-affirming, reaffirming, both, to me, because I have notebook after notebook filled with design ideas about a game similar to that since high school, really. And I've had several attempts where I've tried to put a pitch together for it and work it through and actually get it funded and stuff while working at different games companies. And every time I spiked the project because I was like going into the mechanics and the core loop, and I was like, nah, you can't make that core loop fun, because the tension between the part of the idea that made it interesting to me, which was the complexity of balancing thrusters and managing a ship and the complex mechanics of a ship and all that, versus the core gameplay loop. And to be clear, I think I've nailed on the problem enough that I could probably make a funner version of what they built. But I still don't think it would be that fun. I still think fundamentally the idea doesn't have legs. I think there's an inherent like conflict in the inner loop, which is problematic. Yeah, it was interesting because it was, as I say, I have struggled with that idea for years, trying to think how to make it more fun. And I've seen some stuff that's come close, but did it differently that made it more fun. Like FTL is the closest game, I would say, that came to it, that made a really fun game, but didn't touch it. But the thing that I've always been fascinated about, yeah, they need to be satisfied. They need to have that, they really do need to have that core thing to it. And but the thing that always fascinated me was the physics and the thrusters and the balancing of the complex. And it was like, it was a funnel game when I worked at Jagex. That was closer. And it was a top-down arcadey game where you built your ship as you flew around, out of parts that flew around and stuff. And a few years later, there was a Steam game that basically did the same concept. But again, both times they really dumbed it down and simplified it and took away what I thought was the part of the game I found really interesting. You know, that nuance. But you know, they made a funner game for it, and I understand why they made the trade-offs. But I was just like, is there a way to solve it? And then this game is probably the closest to what I have designed on paper. You know, it's off in a few places, and as I say, I think I could but I have been working the idea for a very long time. But yeah, it just kind of reaffirmed that wasn't for me. Like a space equivalent of Sea of Thieves. Let me tell you a funny story about pitching a game. Now I can't be too detailed because I don't want to disclose what company I was at and who the publisher and everything was. But pirates were a big thing culturally in, I want to say, 2000, maybe like late 90s. And then culturally they became a joke, right? There's like their moment faded. But you know, there was a time in gaming where pirates were everything. And that was back in the day of like GameDev.net 4 Elements Jam, and the classic 4 elements were ninjas, pirates, robots, and what was the last one? Anyway, they're the classic 4 Elements Jam or whatever. This is like before Ludum Dare, this is before Global Game Jam, all this stuff. I can't remember. I might have been Vikings. Anyway, but then they went out of vogue in gaming for a while. And I had this mild obsession with some pirate anime, and there was a steampunk flying anime as well, which I really liked. And this is the era of motion controls, right? So the Weezer thing, the Move controllers exist, Project Natal is there, and whatever. And so when I started developing the idea, I had started developing the idea as a motion controller game. But then I very quickly ditched the motion controller game because I had, like, StarCraft 2 had just hit, or was hitting, I should say. It was StarCraft 2 was still peak esports. You know, it was before MOBA had really taken over the esports scene, and StarCraft 2 was it. And I was convinced that esports would be heading in a team route because, you know, MOBAs were a thing. But also Counter-Strike and some other stuff was happening, and I was just like, no. Sorry. Nail catching on the thread. And I was like, okay, competitive games need to be team games. And I'm obsessed with pirates at this point, and Steam Pirates and stuff. And I basically came up with this, the best way to describe it is pirate dueling game. The primary, like, it would have a single player campaign or a co-op campaign, but the primary sort of mode of this game would be a bunch of capture the flag and deathmatch and those kind of modes, but multiplayer. And there would be cloud pirates, and then you'd basically fly around in these steampunk pirate ships. And the core conceit of the game was that you would it would be very tactile. So you would, because it started out as a motion controller game, you would be running from like the ship's helm to doing the sails and stuff, but the whole time you would be doing things like tugging on the ropes and stuff, but I had like mapped out all the controller actions to be extremely tactile. So things like if you're like handling the sails and stuff, you'd be doing very specific controller stuff, because my whole thing was I wanted it to be a lot more analog, and I wanted it to have a very high skill cap so that it could be esports compatible. Because you can never really make an esports game. You've got to just kind of make a good game that's got a high skill cap. You know, you can't launch an esports game. It's a whole nother topic. But hey, you know, I know a fair bit about this. I headed up esports initiative inside of Sony, and anyway, did a lot of esports stuff. So I'm not fooling myself when I'm saying like, oh, design an esports game. I knew how difficult the pitch was, but the esports thing was partly there to get funding and stuff. And I was really damn confident about the pitch. One of the better pitches I've ever put together, I think. Really, really good. Anyway, the funny part of the story comes in where we have this perfect opportunity to pitch it. And, you know, you've got to decide what to prototype and what you spend your money on and where to put your pitching assets and everything. And basically everyone in the room turned around to me and said, pirates are done. You're not going to get any pirate games pitched and get through and da-da-da-da. Would you believe that same sort of 3-month period that we were meant to be pitching where they said pirates are done? That was the same period that Ubisoft Black Flag got pitched and approved and greenlit. Sorry, not pitched and approved. It got greenlit that month. And I happen to know that was also when a few other pirate games of the time. I can't remember if Sea of Thieves were one of them, but Sea of Thieves came not long after, like a few years later or whatever. But it was kind of like a whole bunch of pirate games hit, and I was just like, bitch, not only did I have a good game, I was 100% on the like publisher meta at the time of what publishers were looking for. Man, that one to this day makes me just go, yeah, bastards. Yeah, bastards. Yeah, still got the designs and everything for it. You know, make a half decent VR game, to be honest. Especially now that VR's got enough people that you could actually do decent multiplayer with it. Interesting. I think the closest VR's ever done... Actually, no, Hover Junkers doesn't really compare, because the whole point of that game was the ship was a difficult thing to control, and it did require team coordination. Like, you couldn't just turn the ship. I mean, you could turn the ship with a helm or whatever, but like the whole idea was that you'd be running around, and that is the closest I have ever gotten to making that spaceship concept I had work. I was like, how do I gamify the spaceship concept? But yeah, Rings of Saturn was the game. I think, yeah, there's a few ways I could tweak the idea that could definitely do things that realm. But hey, it is what it is. I think the biggest thing with these things is kind of just to learn when to let go of those ideas and move on to your next thing. I do take some comfort in how often I have been pitching stuff that inevitably became the zeitgeist or the thing, and people in the room shot me down. To be fair though, I have also historically been a little bit ahead of the curve. So for the last few years, I've learned to sit on my ideas a bit. If I think an idea is really good, just sit on it, work on it a bit, and present it a few months later. And then it's usually closer to the point where people are catching up with the sort of where my brain was at. Off to Sleepy Town. Oh, okay, fair enough. Have a good night's sleep. Sleep tight and all that. Oh dear, that's not going to go through. I'll have to close that thread there. But I am legit worried about running out of blue thread. That is passion fruit martini done. What are we on to? Gin and tonic, Gordon's premium pink distilled. I don't know why I bought these. I bought these the other day and they've been in the fridge for a while, so I was like, I'm going to open them tonight. Yeah, it's nice. Not as nice as the martini. I do like Gordon's gin though. Not my favourite gin, but it is a very, very serviceable gin. There is a very nice gin shop in Brixton where we've managed to buy some nice boutique gins. Worked out well for us. I'm trying to remember what that one gin was. It was an otter gin. We took it to a gin tasting party in Cambridge. Very nice. Very, very nice. That was a good party. Sorry, my brain was just remembering other things that happened at that party. I'm vibing with the soundtrack. I like it. Progress has been made. Slower than I'd like, but it is being made. Okay, we're gonna walk the stitch back to that. I got mildly obsessed with the old episodes of Survivor South Africa the other week, which was the strangest thing. I don't know why. I was just kind of missing South Africa for a bit. And on Amazon Prime, of all things, I was just sort of scrolling through, and they had season 6 of Survivor South Africa, which, again, no idea why I picked season 6 or whatever. But it was just there, and I was like, okay, that's the thing. Claire, you've done a boo-boo. Yeah, I did a boo-boo. There we go. But yeah, strangest thing. Didn't plan it or whatever. I was just like, that's kind of thing. And I sat down to watch it, and I became obsessed. Like, I've never been a big Survivor watcher or whatever. I think I watched the first season. With there was that fat guy who won it that everyone hated. I think he was gay, actually. Oh, that's been too long. We watched it in high school. I cannot recall. Anyway, haven't really watched Survivor since. But I was just craving some South African stuff. Don't know why. And yeah, I sat down to watch it, and I got hooked. I got hardcore hooked. And yeah, watched the entire season in a day. Maybe it was 2 days. It was a long day, actually. It might have been 1 day. The most annoying thing was Amazon was missing, on Amazon Prime, was missing the last episode for some reason. And I was like, what? Why is it missing the last episode? Then I went on to YouTube, and the official Survivor YouTube account had the last episode, but it had no sound. So at this point, I am convinced they had some kind of licensing issue, and someone just nuked all of the audio, and pulled the episode from like Amazon or whatever because it's got some rights dispute. But yeah, kind of sucks. I guess it's not a big enough show that anyone cared, but it was the final episode where you found out who won. I went online and I found out who won, but can't say it wasn't counterproductive. It was a buzzkill. It was a buzzkill to find out that way. I wanted to watch the finale, get that that season end. There we go. Get that season end. Find out why he won. Is what it is, though. Yeah, well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Oh. My brain is not very good on... There we go. My brain is not very good on stuff. It's derailed, and I don't know why it's derailed. Nope. Can't fix that. Oh well. There's just a computer glitch that's gone wrong on my side. But it's not going to affect the stream too much. There we go. Oh. Come on. We gotta make it through all this. I think I'm going to end stream round about there. Let's see if anyone has any objections. Because my computer's got a little bug and I want to be able to restart it. But yeah, thanks for dropping in. And take care of yourselves. Bye bye.